So what I want to share with you in this video here are some of the biggest things that I personally got from the whole dating world, the whole success with women world, the pickup world, the game world, and these are lessons that no matter who you are, you can apply to your life. Okay, now the first thing I want to address here is as soon as you hear dating, pickup, game, there's always a lot of resistance, and the common, thought is, oh, that is bad, that's manipulation, it's little tricks, it's evil, it won't work. And what I'll tell you right here is, guess what? You are right. Those little tricks, those little negs that have become so popular, the peacocking, all of that stuff does not work. And this is something that people in this world have realized a long, long time ago. And what pickup really is personal development. If you can see past the evil front of game, if you can see past the locker room jokes, that type of humor, and the communication of different ideas, you will see it's actually 100% personal development. Because the only way for it to work is for you to become a cool guy, an attractive guy. The little tricks, those little things, those little lines, what's your pickup line? That shit does not work. I agree with you. You must become cool, you must become attractive, you must become confident to then get the girls. So it is personal development. And the cool thing about it, and this is what I fucking love about it, is that this here, unlike say typical personal development where people usually get into it to make money. It's like, hey, you want to make money? Work on yourself. And that'll attract a certain crowd. The cool thing about dating is, hey, you want to get girls? You want to get girls? Better yourself. And you really get people in at a younger age, guys who would never even consider personal development, and they start working on themselves. People who go from say 21 and up, who'd just be like fucking around in college, doing who knows what, maybe going down like these dark paths. Now, at a young age, they learn about the fact that they can work on themselves. They can work on their life situation. They don't have to accept it. They don't have to stay at the bottom. They don't have to be limited by their little social circle, or they don't have to settle, and they can learn to put themselves out there. And that's like the beauty of it is, instead of someone say older, like I want to make money, personal development, girls, personal development. And that's what the whole game thing is. It's the bait to get you in, like to get you through the door into this whole world of self-help. And it's beautiful to see, like the clients I've had over the years, like you just see the progression. It's fucking beautiful to fucking see. And what I want to share with you here are the big benefits that I got from it. And I also want to include some exercises, some practical exercises for each of them. So the first thing, and this is big, social intelligence. That's like the biggest fucking thing I got out of this. And thank God I stumbled onto success with women at a younger age, because right now with the internet, with technology, social intelligence is pretty much gone. And this is something I've also seen throughout the years. People have less and less social intelligence. Okay, why? Because you spend most of your time online. It's shocking to realize, but think about it. When's the last time you went out, away from the computer and really socialized with people? Maybe once this week, once, or at work, or, I go out Friday, and otherwise at work, but that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I talk to most of my friends online. Most people talk to their friends on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, et cetera, more than they do in real life. And right now, if you look at the amount of time you're socializing with people in real life, probably 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it was a lot more. We're more and more connected, yet we're more and more alone. And it's crazy how it also kind of satisfies that need to socialize. Like, say before the internet, you come home, there's that need to socialize with people. You have to get out of the house. Now, you just fulfill all your needs online, and with different video games. And that's like, it's awesome in terms of like the evolution of things, but it's scary to think about. Like, you can come home and play a game like, say, World of Warcraft, where not only are you socializing, you now have your friends, you have your different groups, there's a purpose, you're accomplishing different missions together, you're working towards a greater goal, you're improving your character, you're growing. It's hitting on a lot of needs virtually. Now it's cool, but there's still something missing. You know, it's cool to talk to your friends on Facebook, but there's still something missing. So one big thing you'll get out of going out and interacting with people, or again, interacting with girls, is that, you get that need fulfilled in terms of socializing with real people, and you learn social intelligence. Because right now, people are interacting in the real life more and more as they would online. They are unable to read different social cues. They act in the real world with the online rules. It's awkward. It blocks off a lot of communication because you don't know how to get your ideas across. You have no empathy for the other person. You can't put yourself in their shoes. You know, there's that quote from Stephen Covey, seek first to understand before to be understood. People just can't do that. And the clients that I have, again, are just more and more stifled and just can't connect with that. It's all just very logical. It's like, well, I don't understand. And I'll show them different interactions. I'll show them, like, look at this. Do you get the vibe? Do you get the feel? The emotional feel, the social feel? Do you notice the difference here? They're like, no. What if I go in a little bit needy? Look there. What about not needy? Do you see it? And they're like, no, I don't. They just can't connect with that. So this is one huge thing you will get out of going out and interacting with people. You will learn how to relate to them. You will learn how to read them. You'll read different social cues. You'll know what they're thinking, what they're feeling. And just that skill there, social intelligence, will communicate a ton of value. Because, I tell this to guys, if you meet a girl and you just don't get the basics, like take, for example, a joke, a classic example. I remember there was a client who was a friend of mine. He was with this client, and he's just joking with this girl, and he's pretty short. And he jokes like, yeah, I'm so tall, and she plays along with it. She's like, yeah, you must be like 6'7". It's obviously a joke. Now the client interrupts it. He's like, no, he's not tall because look, he's standing on this step actually. There's like a little ledge. He's standing on the step. That's why he looks pretty tall. Just not getting the context of the joke. And that's similar to if you tell a joke and everyone laughs, you're like, by the way, did you guys get the joke? I know you're laughing, but did you get it? It's because this and this. Ha ha. Like that there. Lack of social intelligence. One example communicates massive low value. It's like this person can't get the basics. And for a girl with a guy, what I say is, hey, if she sees that you can't get these basic things, how would she be able to trust you to go out in the real world and survive? You probably wouldn't get very far. So social intelligence is huge. Huge in terms of just sales. That's another one. In terms of your job, like communicating different ideas. If you just go up and you're just very blunt about something, it must be like this. Like the online rules. It's like this. Versus, okay, what's this person thinking? Where are they at? How can I make it click? You're not going to get very far either. And this is a skill. And the way you cultivate this is, again, there's no magic pill. It's going out and interacting with a fuck ton of people. For me personally, I've interacted with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of women, and I've gathered more social reference experiences than most people in their entire lives. There's a little cheat code. If you right now, and here's a little exercise, just start going out and interacting with, say, one new person a day, 3 new people a day. Just every day, just interact with 3 people. You will start gathering social reference experiences. And the more you do it, you will have so much social experience that you'll reach a point where you have more social experience than most people gather in their entire lives. And that will drastically benefit you. Okay? That's it. Just go out, start interacting with people. Now, to take it a little further, it's not just interacting with people and doing the same thing over and over again, but start bringing your awareness to the different dynamics. If you're interacting with someone, look at how they react to what you say or do. Do it after the fact, say something, like say a joke, and then just start being aware. Are they laughing or not? Are they tensing up or loosening up? That's usually a good one. It's like if you're going a little too far with a joke, you're like, joking, and suddenly it's, okay, that's too much joking for this context. You'll see someone start kind of tensing up. We're kind of doing the, ha, ha, okay, or kind of look away, ha, ha, like that. And that's when you gotta ease off a bit. But then if you ease off too much, and then it's a little too boring, a little too loose in the interaction, that person will start getting bored. They'll be like, oh, kind of looking around. And that's when you kind of amp it up. It's like foot on the gas pedal. start being aware of that. Okay. Start being aware of how people react depending on how you feel. If you say something when you feel this versus if you say something when you feel that, start noticing the patterns. That's really social intelligence. It's getting a fuck ton of reference experiences, interacting with people, and then pattern recognition. Do that. Okay, that shit is one of the most valuable skills, if not, fuck, in my opinion, the most valuable skill you could ever have. Just in terms of also connecting with different people. If you want to move up the social ladder, if you need contacts, for me, I would not be here without my social skills. If you want to know how to network, this is the way to do it. And it will feel weird, as a little side note, in the beginning, because you're now conscious of all these different things, but you have to make it conscious to understand it, to tweak the stuff you're doing wrong, so you're now doing it right. And then after a while, once you get the gist of it, it'll become unconscious again. Okay, but you have to go through that phase of just really caring about all the little details, analyzing all the little details. Trust me, it'll help you in the long run. The second thing is developing self-trust. And this is another thing that people are now losing with the internet and technology. People have less and less authority over themselves. So to illustrate this, I remember when I was growing up as a kid, whenever, say the teacher would ask the class a question, like, what's the right answer here? I would always look around and wait for someone else to speak. I'd look at them for, okay, what's going on? Or I would, try to maybe copy their answer if you had to write it down. I would not really trust myself to figure it out on my own. Or I'd write it down, but I'd always need confirmation to believe in it. My opinion, the trust I had in myself with that answer wasn't high at all. I had zero authority over myself. And that was just in school. But now with, say, the internet and YouTube, I think it's amazing to look at YouTube videos on how-tos. Fucking amazing. But, you can take it too far to the point where you're just always giving your power away. You're placing authority on other people, and you'll never trust yourself. Everything you do, you need confirmation from, say, a YouTube video. You can't just figure it out. You don't have that authority over yourself. You can't listen to your own advice because you think it's always shit. And that self-trust is something I personally got through success with women. Because when you're going out and you're interacting with a stranger, you're in it alone. You can't look up the how-tos. It really depends on you. You're there in the moment. You better listen to your own advice, and you will start slowly rebuilding that self-trust. You do something right, you're like, shit, I did that. Me. That's weird. That's pretty cool. Go out, do it again. Fuck, I did that well too. Shit, that was me. I did the right thing. I said that. I jumped at that opportunity. She liked me. And you just keep rebuilding that authority over yourself. Okay, now that doesn't take away from looking elsewhere for information too. Do both, but don't do it to the point where it's 100% external and 0% internal. Try to get a healthy balance of the two. Okay, and this is also what allowed me to move to Los Angeles. If I didn't have all those references of just rebuilding that self-trust, I never would have trusted myself to make it moving from, say, Switzerland to Los Angeles. Because that was like a huge leap for me. Going to like a new country, I'm like, oh my God, how am I going to survive on my own? Wait a minute. You survive this on your own. You survive this, you survive this, you survive this. And trust me, going up and interacting with strangers is so fucking scary. And it's kind of chaotic because you have no idea what's going to happen. So the more you survive that, trust me, you are unstoppable. It trains you to jump at opportunities as well. Versus, am I ready? I don't know if I'm going to do it right. Full self-trust. Huge benefit. And it also snaps you out of groupthink. If you want to innovate, if you really want to kill it in the creative realm, you can't always be looking at other people. You can't always be following. You got to be a fucking innovator. You got to start thinking for yourself. Okay. And what you realize in terms of the little bonus, let's just say, that you'll notice when you start relying more and more on yourself, is that people will start looking to you more and more to confirm, their beliefs, and they'll start reacting to you. Your value will increase massively. There's a saying in any social interaction, there's always one person reacting more to the other person than that person's reacting to them. If you look at the dynamics of two people, for who is it a bigger deal? For who who's laughing more at, say, the different jokes, who has those heightened emotional responses. And the person reacting the most, not to place different labels, but that's say the person of lesser value, and that's the person following the lead. So when you start having that, you're going to see people are going to start following your lead. You're like, nope, it's this way. Because very few people have that self-trust, and less people are having it. You have it, you'll see people start, say you have an idea at work, we're doing this. They're going to jump on board versus resisting it. And if you want a fun exercise to reinforce this, to kind of reinforce you believe in yourself, nothing really throws you off, there's that full self-trust. Try to do this with a friend. Go for like 30 seconds to a minute. Tell a story to your friend. That's the exercise. You're there with your friend for 1 minute, tell him a story or tell her a story. And during that time, that person will try to distract you. And your job is just stay on course. And you will see if you're someone who's always pinging, looking, what do they think? Is it okay? Always following, let's just say. It'll be very hard for you to stay on course. You will lose track of your story. You're going to be like, you know what? There's a story. I was walking down the street, and they're going to be like, why are you doing like that with your hand? And you're like, my hand? And now you'll lose track of the story. So that's a great way to kind of build that muscle. And ideally try to do, reach a point where you go like 10 minutes straight. 10 minutes, and they're like clapping, yelling at you, saying all this stuff, anything to distract you, and you just stay on track with your story. Great exercise. And you can do this daily. Just try doing that daily, talking to new people daily. Your life will go up. The third one is it gives you a track record of mastering something. And that's another thing we have less and less, probably also due to technology and the internet. We're so fucking ADD. We're all over the place. You jump online, you're like, oh, new tab, new tab, new tab, new tab. And we rarely spend a lot of time on one thing. And more people are becoming dabblers, where they try a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. Things, kind of hit like a bump in the road. They stop. If they don't get success fast, they give up and they try something else. And they're just dabbling around. With this, it gave me this track record of just sticking at something for a long period of time and succeeding. It's like it shows you realistically what it takes to master something. It's not fast. There's no magic pills. There's no cheat codes. It takes a while, dedication. Progress is not linear. It's not like a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. It's you go up, you go down. You go up a bit more, you go down. You go up a bit more, you go down. It's all over the place. And it's really like those foundational things, not the flashy things, the foundational things that build the success. And that is huge because once you master something, you'll know how to master anything, and you'll stop just giving up over dumb bullshit or thinking you failed when in reality you haven't. So try to master something, and what better to master than socializing? Just that, the positive effect it'll have on every area of your life. Oh my God. The fourth one, and this is a big one, it kills your ego. With Transformation Mastery, we talk about the outer approach, just killing that front. This is a great fucking way to do it. Because going out and interacting with someone, and say you're a guy, going out and interacting with a girl, the only way to become attractive to that girl is to be 100% real. She'll sense if you have a front. And most guys she talks to, they have that front. I compare a girl to a millionaire in a nightclub, where she's a millionaire, she's surrounded by poor people, and everyone's going up to her, and they want a bit of that money, and they're going to do whatever it takes. So they'll put on the people pleaser front. Oh, everything's awesome. They'll put on the asshole front. They'll put on the player front. It's all these different fronts trying to get something. And she senses that. And if you go up and you're just 100% real, like, hey, that's like another millionaire walking in. And she's like, oh, thank God, a breath of fresh fucking air. So it'll teach you to remove that fucking front. Because every time you have it, it's not going to work. And eventually it's how many fucking rejections does it take for you to drop it? If there's like a stove, how many times you need to burn your hand on the fucking stove until you drop it and get a glimpse, a reminder of what it feels like to be real. You can't be a people pleaser. You can't be an asshole. You can't be a dick. You can't be all stifled and quiet. You need to communicate clearly or it's not going to work. It's a great way. Every time you get rejected, that front is just like fucking hit to that front. Like, nope, didn't work. Didn't work. And at some point you're like, you know what? Fuck it. And you just drop it. And the more intense, the more scary the situation, the better. Kill the ego. And beyond that, what I'd say is it gets you out of being stuck. Kind of linking it to what I talked about in the introduction with personal development. It shows you like you can have control over who you are in your life. You don't have to stay at the bottom stuck. That's a huge thing that it did for me too. It's up until the point where I found out about success with women, I was like, well, this is me. I guess I'm fucked. Yeah, I'll settle for whoever will like me. I don't have many options. I'm in massive scarcity. Let's try to make the best of it. And then you find out about this. You're like, no, you can have control over your life. You don't have to settle. You don't have to be always scared by all these limited options. It's like, oh, if I lose my one friend, I'm fucked, because without that person, I won't even meet anyone else. I'm fucked. And that's a lot of people now. And you may be watching this, and that might be you. You're sitting here, you might not have many friends, and you think you're fucked. You're like, how am I ever going to meet someone to be with? How? Through work? Maybe not. Maybe you work from your computer. Maybe there's no one at work. And again, ideally, try to not shit where you eat. But apart from work, if you don't really have a social life, how are you going to do it? Maybe going out and just getting plastered drunk once a weekend, hoping for something. It's a great fucking plan. So this will give you that freedom. It expands it. Instead of being limited, now you have a lot more options. And with those options too, and this is so key in terms of developing relationships, you get to find out who you connect with, who you're meant to be with. Because right now you may think, my ideal partner is this. But most likely it's some kind of projection. It's some kind of, that'll fill this little void here. It's not really what you want. It's what you think you want. But as soon as you're with that person, you realize, no, it's actually not really what I want. And it's only through a lot of different experiences, interacting with different people, being with different people, that you're like, oh, it's this. This is the person I connect with. This person I resonate with. And again, now you have someone with whom you can build a really strong, healthy relationship that'll last because there's that chemistry. But it's hard to find without the options. You can get lucky, but still hard to find. So those are, for me, the biggest things I got out of success with women. And again, no matter who you are, you can apply this to your life. Starting today, go out and start interacting with 3 new people every single day. 3 new people. Just small talk. Start being aware of the patterns, the dynamics. It'll feel weird at first. Make it conscious. Start interacting. Start killing your ego too. Put yourself in situations where it can be a little bit embarrassing, where there's a lot of pressure to be cool. Kill that front. Hit the outer approach. Use this to your advantage to really kill the front. Beyond that, develop self-trust. Every time you do it on your own, it's a little +1. You survive that. You can probably survive it again. You can probably survive more. You can depend on yourself and, learn to master something. This will be the most valuable thing, in my opinion, you'll ever master. And it doesn't just have to be dating. Again, it's like if you're a guy, you can do this with women. If you're a girl, you can do this with guys, or just with anyone. Just start socializing. These are 4 of the big benefits, but there are millions. So get on it.